Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another layout. This is using a page kit that I had put together for one of the crops that I went to. And last week I said I had counted and I had 13 page kits left. And I wanted to get those used up before I make any more page kits. I believe after I think I did 3 or 4 in a row, so I have 5 or 6 left. And then I'm going to start making page kits again. And just last week, I signed up for another crop, and it's going to be it's in November. So I'll be sure to make lots of page kits for that. I could have kept the page kits that I had, put together, but I find that I like to, if I'm going to put a page kit together, I don't want it to sit there for, months and months and months and years. Because at one point I had 25 page kits that literally sat there for, I'd say 3 years, because I wasn't going to crops anymore. And I thought, well, I'll just keep them there in case. And I'd rather get them done, get the products used, and then just make some more page kits, which I love making page kits anyway. This page kit had a lot of Amy Tangerine, the Oh Happy Life. There was a couple of pattern papers. There was a couple of 6x6 cut aparts. And I'm going to be scrapping this picture when we were at the top of the mountain and we took a picture kind of facing out and you see all the mountains in the back. And it was just absolutely amazing, the view. And then there was a 6x6 pattern paper that had all these little cut aparts. They are about, well, the sheet of pattern paper is 6x6 and there was 4 across. They're about 1.5 by 1.5, I would say. So I'm going to use those and sort of make a grid around the photo, and then I'm going to incorporate some other stuff that's not square. I'm going to add that flower, which the flower is not going to end up there. It's going to end up to the bottom right. And I'm going to take another square that's a little bigger, and I'm going to put that where the flower is. So what I did is I went into my stash and I got the 6x6 pattern paper pad, and I thought that I could use some of the patterns, to map the photos. Now I took the large 12x12 and it has all this like beautiful stripes in all the different colors, and I just cut 2 little pieces about 1/2 inch each, and I put it at the top and the bottom of the layout. And then I went into the 6x6 pattern paper and I took the same pattern paper but in a smaller version, and I'm going to mount the photo with that, which I really liked. Now I'm taking some of those little squares and I'm just putting them, like I said, around the photo. And then I took another that was from the die cut piece, and it just says love this so much, and I'm going to put that at the top left corner of the layout. I'm going to use some of the acetates that came in the die cut package from Amy Tangerine Oh Happy Life. And at first I was going to go with the stripes going in the same direction, or not in the same direction, horizontally, and then these other stripes going in the different direction. But I decided to flip the whole thing over and put everything vertical. I just liked it better that way. I did take a branding strip that had the arrows in orange, and I'm going to put it underneath the photo. Now I'm going to start inking all the edges of all the pattern papers and all the die cuts and everything, and I'm using the hickory smoke. I like using the hickory smoke instead of the black. It still gives it that black feeling, but it's not as in your face. It's a little less black. And I find with bright colors like that, I just like it a whole lot more. Now, I decided to mount the photo on some black cardstock. I went and got a piece of scrap And when I don't want to mount the whole thing on, like the whole layout on a black cardstock, what I do is I just use 8.5 by 11 cardstock to mount my photo. And I have a ton of 8.5 by 11 that I'm trying to get used up, because I used to make cards and I don't make cards anymore. And I used to use the 8.5 by 11 for that. But where I don't make cards anymore, I'm finding that my 8.5 by 11 cardstock is just sitting there being unused. So I'm trying to, use my stash a whole lot more this year. I'm buying almost nothing. I haven't bought anything in a long time, as far as collections and everything. I tell you, the CHA just went by and there's so many awesome things, but I'm staying away. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm going to use what's in my scrap room. And another thing that my scrap room tour did was, I opened every single drawer, and it made me realize that, yes, there's so many tools and, products that I need to use up and need to work with. So I'm trying to stay away from buying anything new. I'm not promising that I'll be successful, for a long, long time, but I'm going to try to stay away for at least a couple of months and not buy anything and really use up what I have. As I'm playing with the placement of the embellishments for this page, which I'm not going to do too much, I am going to take a frame and cut it apart and make a couple of embellishment cluster. But while I'm doing that, I've had a ton of people leaving message and asking how Caitlin is doing after her surgery. She had her surgery exactly a week ago, last Monday. And the first few days was really rough. She was in a lot of pain. And on Friday, there was a whole incident thing that happened. But we made it through. And today I took the bandages off, and her incision seems to be healing okay. There was no redness around it, and everything seems to be healing nice and well. So, and she seems to be in a little less pain. She's getting around quite a bit and walking around, and making sure that she's moving around and not staying stationary, so that her recovery is going to be quickly and not take too long. He said that she should be able to be at work after 4 weeks. So, and this is the first week, and on Saturday she went to town and got some stuff for her new puppy, like a new leash, the ones that don't choke them, that go around their whole body. So she had to bring the dog in because he needed to be measured, because we went a couple days before and tried to buy one without him being there, and he's so small, he literally weighs 1 pound. So he's so small that he needed to go there so that they could measure him and get him the proper things, that fits okay. So he's all set up, and now she can kind of take him outside on a leash. She wants to get him used to, if she takes him out, which I'm sure she will, take him with her all the time, that he'll be used to being on a leash. Now, as you can tell, I had a couple of transparent things, and I took out my X machine, my Xaron little X machine, and then I messed it up. I pulled it halfway through and then realized I forgot to take the backing off the transparency, so I pulled it out and it messed up the whole little Xaron X machine. And then I went and got my 2.5-inch Xaron machine, and I put it in through that. So I'll have to get my husband to try to figure out how to, because it's almost full. It was almost a new roll, so I don't want to waste that. So I'll get him to try to figure it out and and to put it back in so I can use it. So this is where I, use the frame, and I put it on 2 areas on the layout, and I'm going to make some little embellishment clusters, and I'm using everything that I had, pulled together with this page kit. There was a little sun. I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to put it on a few spots on the layout, and then I had some puffy stickers, which was little hearts, little cameras. I'm going to end up putting them on this page, and I just love this page. It's just so bright and cheery, and I really like how it turned out. And there's not a lot of layers as far as pattern papers, but I really like the little squares around the photos. And it's funny because I start with something and then it seems that my brain kind of goes with that, because I did the picture of the puppy and I did 3 little squares on the side, and then when I saw this, which I had no idea I was going to do this page after, and then there was this 6x6 that was a cut apart, I was like, hey, let's do something sort of similar, but instead of pictures, let's do it with the little die cuts. And then I put the arrow, what do you call that, branding strip at the bottom, and that kind of finished it. And then I did a little cluster right underneath. I did add some Heidi Swap black ink just to add a little bit more black, because in the little squares there was a couple of them that were black little squares. I want to add a little bit more black to the layout, so I took out my Doodlebug tiny stickers, and I'm just going to put Amazing View 2016, and that's going to complete this layout. I do have some close-ups coming out of the layout, and if you're new to my channel, I upload videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you're enjoying these videos, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, and I'm going to talk to you on Wednesday. I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.